Um, our theme is betrayal. Abraham Lincoln, birthday February 12th, 1809. Death April 15th, 1865. He was born in Kentucky and died at the age 56. Anna Frank, birthday June 12th, 1929. Death March 1st, 1945. Lived in Germany, died at 16. Abraham Lincoln. Family, mom, whose name is Nancy Lincoln, dad, Thomas Lincoln, his brother Thomas, and his sister Sarah. When he became president, he was married to Mary Todd Lincoln and had 4 kids. Anna Frank, whose dad is Otto, mom is Edith, her sister is Margaret, and she never got married. Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln affected society and the present today by trying to be president and to stop slavery, keep the Union together. Anna Frank. She affected society by making her diary and telling the story of how she survived in the Holocaust. Abraham Lincoln did not attend school because his family is poor. He moved to Illinois when he got older. He moved to Washington, D.C. because of his career of being president. Anne Frank. The school she went to was Montessori Lyceum, Amsterdam. She moved to Germany. She moved to her father's attic because of the Holocaust.
Abraham Lincoln's achievements was being elected as president in 1860. Anne Frank's achievements was learning how to write in her diary.
Abraham Lincoln. People who were important to his success. Stephen Douglas, in their multiple debates, gave him a reputation for him to become president. Anna Frank. People who were important to her success was her siblings, like her mom, dad, sister, Mr. and Mrs. Van Pels, who fought with her to survive the Holocaust.
Abraham Lincoln's obstacles was being born poor and he couldn't afford a good education. His sister died. Anne Frank's obstacles was getting through the Holocaust and living with a bad fever.
Abraham Lincoln. The most important thing to Abraham Lincoln was getting rid of slavery and keeping the Union together. Anna Frank. The most important thing to Anna Frank was surviving the Holocaust and caring for her diary she tried so hard on. Okay, we can start. Start recording.
The essential thing to remember about Abraham Lincoln was that there was nothing in his background that predicted that he was going to be president of the United States. And in fact, if Lincoln had not been elected in 1860, almost no one ever would have heard of him. He was an accomplished lawyer, and he'd made a name for himself as an anti-slavery orator in the late 1850s. But even at his election, no one expected great things of Abraham Lincoln.
He was a man who became president at maybe the worst moment in our country's history.
At the beginning of the war and the beginning of his running, Lincoln did not advocate black equality.
Lincoln's principal objective was to save the Union, and then we'll deal with slavery. But before too long, he had to both save the Union and deal with slavery through the Emancipation Proclamation.
Here was a man who very reluctantly was sort of taking on the issue of slavery. He really did not want to. I mean, if you read any literature, he never really wanted to embrace the slavery issue. It wasn't
Amsterdam has seen a good deal of hardship in its long history. You can learn about those parts of Amsterdam's history in places like the Anne Frank house, where Anne Frank and her family lived while Nazis occupied the city in World War II. Anne and her family were able to hide in the secret annex of the building on the Prinsen property for over 2 years before they were betrayed. After Anne's diary made her story famous, the building she wrote it in was preserved, restored, and made into a museum. Today, the Anne Frank house offers a close look into Anne's personality and her life during World War II. You can see Anne's original diary and visit the room she and her family lived in, still complete with the pictures Anne hung up herself. A visit to the Anne Frank house is a moving and memorable experience. there's a lot to take in. And, since it's one of Amsterdam's most popular attractions,